All right, so today is Wednesday, the 25th of June, 2025. We're having our morning analysis. Now, today we don't have much fundamental events. There was CPI released from Australia in the middle of the night. That's 2 a.m. Nigerian time. And that seems to be like that was the only event for the Asian session. For the London session this morning, we don't really have any news up until afternoon by 3 p.m. rather, when there'll be a speech by the Fed Chair Powell who's going to testify. And same 3 p.m. that will be now Fed Chair Powell is the Fed chairman for the Fed in the United States. That's what they call their own central bank. So we'll give a speech by 3 p.m. and simultaneously data for new home sales will also be released from the United States. So that's the only event for today. That's the new home sales. It's the only tradable event for today. We don't really trade speeches, so we are just going to ignore. But at the same time, since it's coming out with the new home sales, I will advise you trade new home sales with a lot of caution. But then all this comes up by 3 p.m. That means that between now and 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. thereabout, we can still trade technically. So the market is open for technical trading between now and the release of that data by 3 p.m. Kindly mute your device as you join this class. Make sure your device is muted as you join this class. And if you have a video feed on, kindly put it off so that it doesn't affect our network. All right, so since we have just the fundamentals later in the afternoon, we can as well just look at the chart and see what the technicals really hold for today. So I'm flipping over now to the chart so that we can analyze the setup that's available for this morning. Now, I have three key setups to show with us today, which we should pay our attention to. The first I'll be looking at is the AUD-CHF. Now, this is the AUD-CHF on the 1 hour time frame. You can see price, hit the support zone recently. I believe the same is reflected rather, even on the 4 hour time frame. Let's take it to the daily. All right, so it's a setup that you see that comes right from the daily. You can see there's a support zone there on the daily time frame. Scale it down to 4 hour. So you can scale it down to 4 hour and even the 1 hour time frame, and we can still see that we have the support zone intact. And on that 1 hour time frame, I can see the formation of an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which might trigger a bullish movement. So in the course of today, we're going to be looking at price breaking out above the neckline region. The neckline region will be above this area. So I'll give us a buy stop order to capture the movement of price on this particular one. So we have the bullish outlook on the AUD-CHF. Let's see. Using a Fibonacci tool, we want to capture some good movement on this. And this is used to capture some 15 pips. It's an intraday setup. All right, so I'll quickly type it out and I'll post here. We're going to be doing a buy stop order. It's purely intraday. It's not AUD-CHF is not so volatile in setup. I mean, it's instrument. but nonetheless, you can capture some pips on it for an intraday trading. So buy stop AUD CHF, buy stop at 0.52399. Take profit at 0.52586 and stop loss at stop loss at 0.52303. So I'm dropping it right here now, and I'll post in the relevant groups. I pick it up from the comment section, and I'm also dropping it in the 5X group likewise. Give me some seconds to put it together for the format we use for the 5X. All right, so I'm almost done. All right, so that's done. That's dropped. So we'll continue. So we're bearish on the, sorry, bullish rather. So buy stop order on the AUD CHF on 1 hour. Now, the other pair I'm looking at today is the GBP JPY. The GBP JPY is another instrument of interest. Now, this particular one, if you go to the daily time frame, you see that price, recently hit a resistance level on the daily time frame. You can see we have a resistance here, and this candle, the tip was able to hit that resistance. Even on the second look also, if you take it down here, we see that this region is still in line with that resistance. So we have a valid resistance zone right there. I'll use a rectangle box to replace all that. All right, so we have a valid resistance zone up there. Take it down to 4 hour. Now you can see it's trying to form, on one side it's trying to form what may look like a double top, which would trigger a bearish movement. But then if it's a double top, it's yet to, price is expected to still push up It's not mandatory. Like I always say, we don't get hung up on patterns. If it forms, fine. If it doesn't come as clear as possible, we'll look at the next possible option. But if I take it down to 1 hour, I'm seeing it from another perspective. I'm seeing the perspective of a shoulder, a head, the second shoulder, and I'm anticipating a drop from that second shoulder. So I'll draw my trend line here to capture the neckline region. All right, so what I'm seeing is a head and shoulder pattern. Shoulder, head, second shoulder, and a very powerful drop from there. Now, since I have a head and shoulder in view also, I will be looking at setting some pending orders, just like we did for the AUD I'll be anticipating an entry below this second shoulder here. And I'll be looking at taking my profit around Fibonacci 50 on this one. That's a big one, about 90 pips. All things being equal though. All right, so we'll be looking at ratios on this one. I'll be doing ratio 1 to 3 for the stop loss. You don't want to get caught unawares. And this kind of setup, you need to trade with a lot of caution. I think I will wait. See, let's do this in a safe way. Since the stop loss will be large, let's wait for a clear-cut manual entry. So be active in our groups. Be active in our groups. We'll watch this on a manual level. Once price is able to break out, we'll trigger the trade and the relevant take profit stop loss levels will be dropped. Reason because GBJPY can be very volatile and I don't want to take chances. So watch out in the groups for the setup or the signal on this when price drops to that level. But then if you've taken this card AEDCHF, that's a good one. That is expected to trigger in the course of the day. The third one is still the same JPY pair, but it is Euro JPY, and this is for those who are swing traders. So far the setup I've shown are intraday. This Euro JPY is a swing setup. That means it's on 4 hour. It will take a longer time, both will trigger and to run. But then swing traders know themselves. That's how they trade or how we trade, because I'm also a swing trader. All right, so for Euro JPY, you can see price hit a previous support turned resistance from this zone right here. This is where price is at the moment. All right. So if you flip it down to the daily, 4 hour, and on the 4 hour time frame, we can draw our rising wedge pattern as we anticipate the breakout. So anytime price breaks out below the support, the resistance zone rather, and the lower trend line, with our RSI clearly below 50, that'll be a time to trigger sell on the Euro JPY. All right, so that'll be all from my end this morning. 3 setups have shown us AUD we are bullish on 1 hour, and I've dropped the signal. If you're just joining us, just go straight to the comment section. You have the signal for the AUD the buy stop order. And if you belong to the pilot group, you have it right there. You have copy the signal for the AUD And I also am bearish on the GBP JPY on 1 hour. But like I said, I want to wait for more clarity on that. I want to see the actual breakout. It's a head and shoulder pattern on 1 hour time frame. Once price breaks out completely, and it's time to trigger itself by you the groups. And
Sorry,
thirdly,
sir, did you say Sorry, did you say JPY is 1 hour? Is it intraday?
Yes,
sorry,
it's
sir.
It's intraday. Yes, it's intraday.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And the Euro JPY is 4 hour. That one is the swing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
We're bearish on the Euro JPY on 4 hour, but that's the swing setup. So it's for swing traders. All right, I'll take the questions I'm seeing here. Somebody is asking me to check on gold. So let's check what is happening with gold. Now, I've always said it, trade gold with a lot of caution in this season of political instability between the US, Israel, and Iran. Trade gold with a lot of caution. Technically, it's expected, fundamentally rather, going from gold technically looks like it's trying to be bearish. So just trade it with a lot of caution, especially we don't know what will happen in the course of the day, whether there'll be an attack or not. So trade gold with utmost caution. But then on the technical this morning, what I'm seeing is price closed on a support level yesterday. We have a value support there on the daily time frame. So might be anticipating some reversal into the bullish direction. Not giving us a clear-cut setup of entry at the moment. Not it's not forming any direct pattern, though we have a support, but that's not enough to trigger a buy. We're not seeing it clearly. Except, so this is not it's not as sharp as I'm expecting for an inverted and shoulder. Well, what I would advise is this: for those trading gold, this region here is a minor range on gold. If price breaks out above here, you may just scalp some 10, 15, 20 pips. If there's a breakout above here, you can see RSI is above 50, but this is above 0. So we have some strength on gold. So if the new candle breaks out above that level, you may just scalp some 10, 15, 20 pips and you're out. It's not a trade you want to sit in for so long because you don't have the level of probability is not so high. But then if price breaks out at this, we are sure some pips will be moved in the market. So just you can quickly take that and get out of the trade. But that's the gold. Any other questions? On the platform this morning, you are yet to register or have an account with PU Prime. Just head straight to our website, www.puprime.com, and open a trading account. And that's if nobody has reached out to you from PU Prime, as you know, as nobody has called you, nobody has sent you a link. Yes, you can go ahead and register with that link. But if somebody has reached out to you, somebody has called you, somebody has sent you a chat from PU Prime, and especially if they have sent you the registration link, kindly use that registration link to register on the platform. And make sure your account is verified. Verify your account with the right documents, your government issued ID. That's for your means of identification. And for your proof of residence, also, you need documents for that, which can be your NEPA bill, your water rate bill, preferably you can use your bank statement. Saves a lot of stress. So make sure your account is funded and verified. Make sure your account is verified. You can go ahead with fund and start trading with your friend. All right, Madam Onaji is asking to check GBP USD. All right, so GBUSD seems to be trending up, but then it's very, very close to a resistance level on the weekly time frame. So let's take it out to the daily. For our, it's currently on the resistance level, but then there's still a bigger resistance level up there too. 4 hour, 1 hour.
Right.
Now, since it's on the resistance level, we have to trade with a lot of caution because at resistance level, what we always expect is a reversal in price. So if that holds, if that resistance level holds, I think for this one, we need to come down to a lower time frame, like 15 minutes. And draw a trend line and capture a sell if it breaks out downwards. It doesn't have to be much, maybe to this recent low, to be on the safe side, and that can generate something in the range of some 18, 20 pips. However, if for one reason or the other, price does not reverse into a sell, but rather breaks out above this resistance, we're to look for a retest and a continuation to the next resistance. So these are the two scenarios that are possible with GBUSD today. Either it breaks out downwards for a sell, or breaks out above the current resistance, retests that resistance, and now moves up to the next bigger resistance, which is up there. So please take note of that as you trade with the GBUSD.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
God bless you. Thank you, sir.
And finally, Godson is asking me to check BTC. BTC has been in an uptrend when we had this reversal Marubozu patterns or let's say bullish engulfing, slightly bullish engulfing some couple of days back. Yesterday was bullish. We may still anticipate. Let's see. We have a descending trend line here. Okay. All right, so we have a descending trend line here on the daily time frame. And price is trading around that descending trend line. And that descending trend line has a confluence point at this region here, where we have this minor resistance. All right, and the resistance is having a confluence with the trend line. You can see this is the higher low, higher low. So this point here is a point where the trend line and the resistance both, they're both meeting. So technically, under the condition, we expect a bearish movement on this, except market condition changes. Let's take it down to 1 hour. 10 minutes will be clearer. So I have to take this down to 5 minutes to get it clear view. All right, so there's a 5 minutes side to it. Okay, so if price breaks out downwards, we look for an opportunity to sell the BTC/USD. Now that's a very short-term trade, so it's like a scalp. So trade with a lot of caution. Now, if at all for any other reason price decides to break this level, then we'll see a breakout, a retest, and a continuation. So it's actually at a critical point where there can be either a breakout to the downside or to the upside. But then the first preferred breakout points technically should be on the downside. But if for one reason or another price decides to break out upwards, you only need to wait for a retest. The retest means that price has broken out upwards and it comes down to the previous resistance zone now as a support for a continuation. So, but if it's a sell, just go down to 5 minutes so that you can capture an early entry. So I hope that's clear to the person asking. That's Godson. Is that right? Good news. Good morning. It's really a long time.
Thank you, sir, for the BTC analysis.
You're welcome. All right, so you can see Euro USD is at a resistance level on the daily time, sorry, 4 hour. This is the 4 hour time frame. Price is trading at a resistance level. There has been a range recent time around this area, so technically should be looking out for a bearish breakout. So let's see how that can happen on the lower time frame. Let's go down to 15 minutes. Well, we're not having any clear-cut pattern that will guide us into that. So what I would rather do is extend the range. So if price breaks out downwards below this range, we'll see a bearish movement on the Euro USD. All right, so that'll be all this morning. We analyze a couple of instruments. We are bullish on the AED CHF, we are bearish on the GBP JPY, both on 1 hour, and we're bearish on the Euro JPY on the 4 hour. Now, because the news of today will come up around 3 p.m. today, it's also possible the market may be a bit quiet, before the release of that data. Quietness in the sense that there may not be sufficient volatility to push price. That is possible. So I'll encourage you to make sure you watch your trades when you're out there, so that you don't end up seeing trades that will just drag and prolong unnecessarily. All right, so that'll be the end of the analysis this morning. Trade safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.